Welcome to Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis. So, viewer question today, but I can't answer this, so I needed to call a doctor. So, why do I need to call in a professional? Well, I'm going to read you this question from Mark Reinheimer, or Reinheimer. Sorry if I butchered your name. So, here is an idea for your next show. During a match in Dallas yesterday, in 100-degree weather and high humidity, we were both sweating profusely. My opponent noticed I was drinking Gatorade Zero. He's like, "Why are you drinking Zero?" I said, I don't want the calories. He said, "Well, you really need those calories in this heat and humidity in Dallas, so you should drink regular Gatorade." Your thoughts? What's the best supermarket available drink to drink during matches? That's a great question. All right, so Mark, I'm not a nutritionist, right? Does it look like I'm a nutritionist? I'm definitely not a doctor. Maybe I'm a doctor of tennis, but this is kind of out of my realm of professionality. So I called in a favor. I actually called in my own doctor. I said, "Hey, Dr. Steve, would you have any interest in coming on the show and giving me a hand?" And he said, yes. So, special guest with me today, my own doctor, Dr. Stephen Knox, is here with me today. And we're going to have a little coffee time first.
Thanks so much for asking.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
So I called the doc in for some coffee.
Is this my coffee?
That is your coffee.
Excellent.
See? Guys, thank you for the coffee. You made it happen with Buy Me a Coffee /Tennis Spin. Link is below for those of you who don't know. Let me take a slop. Okay, so my own doctor's in the house. And so, Dr. Steve, in your professional opinion, we are zero with the calories, with a Gatorade, the most popular drink, sports drink out there. And he's basically not taking in anything. I mean, I just like the taste of this better, so I drink the regular stuff. So in your professional opinion, what do you think of the situation, and should he be drinking the Zero?
Thanks, Eric. Thanks for having me here. I really appreciate this. If you're playing tennis in 100-degree heat and humidity in Dallas, you need a psychiatrist. But there's a term bonking, bonking, which is a very precise medical term. I learned it once when a patient came into me. He had road rash all down one side of his body, face, the whole thing. And I said, kind of what's happening here? And he said, well, I was bonking the 2 days ago I was bonking. And I said, well, what's bonking? He said, well, when your blood sugar goes low. Now, this is a guy who, he's not a professional by any means, but bicyclist, but rides long distances. He's got to keep his sugar levels up. We're talking about sugar here. No sugar, zero sugar. Got to keep your blood levels up. When your blood sugar goes low, you begin to lose consciousness and you bonk, which I think is, you kind of do this. Well, he happened to be bonking, riding downhill on his bike, and he passed out, ergo the road rash. He did fine otherwise. So what happened right there? His blood sugar went too low. When you're playing tennis, when you're, I'm not a big tennis player. If you can use, if you're just a day in, day out player, between 450 and I think real professionals can use 750 to 1,000 calories. I mean, top end is way up there. Regular exercising, let's say you're using 600 calories in an hour. We go through here, we got 0 calories here. We have other things in here. We're going to talk about other things, sodium, potassium, things like that. We got 190 calories in the whole bottle. We're not talking about a little sip here. We're talking 70 calories in this one. I don't know what this one holds.
0.
This is 100, and then this is 25 in this whole packet. So, you know, if you even drink this one, 190, so 600 an hour minus 190, let's say you drink this thing, you know, you're 400 calories to the good. When you're working out, give yourself a break. Those are free calories. Now, if you're walking along eating a banana split, maybe not, you know, it's not going to work. If you're working out tennis, you know, really working hard, or running, anything. This pertains, I think, to a lot of things, to everything, every sports. You know, give yourself a break. So our body, our brain needs glucose. It's the most readily available and most easily utilizable form of energy we have. You know, glucose is everywhere. I'll use glucose. That is the scientific term for it. Sugar is the other term for it. There's, you know, blah, blah, blah. Glucose. We need glucose. Our glucose levels run between 80 to 100. That's normal. Above that is diabetes. Below that is hypoglycemia. Hypoglycemia is not good for us. When you go through a morning, Harry, you know, at the end of the morning, maybe you're a little cranky. You're like, oh, you know, it's like your body, it gives that goose. What's your body telling you? Your body is telling you, get some glucose. Your brain is telling you, your body, you're here to get me glucose. Go find some glucose. Now we can do through that. We can get through that. Our body will switch to protein and fat metabolism, but that's down the line. You gotta switch over. Our bodies will do that, of course. Now you're in a tennis match. You're playing, you know, whatever level. You know, you don't have to be playing Brad Gilbert. Maybe you're playing Harry. You want to beat the man. You know, who's going to win? It's a tough match. I think he plays well. You're good players. So you're matched on all those levels. You're, you know, mentally prepared, whatever. Who's gonna win? The person who's got the gas left in the tank, or the person who's got no gas left in the tank when it comes to those shots? Somebody with gas. Give yourself some gas. Give yourself some gas. Don't let yourself bonk. If you're getting kind of that uptight, you know, that's your adrenaline pushing. It pushes up your blood sugar, pushes up your blood pressure, pushes up your pulse. But we only have so much sugar, glucose available. There's those available in our stores, in our body. And we'll run through those pretty quickly. You know, you're in the heat, just walking along in the heat in 100-degree weather, 100-degree humidity. Maybe not 100 degree. Okay, let's say it's only, you know, 60, whatever. I mean, that's still a wet blanket. Your body's using more stuff. It's using more electrolytes. You're sweating more. You're using more energy. Electrolytes, we'll talk about those. Electrolytes are things that are in the body. Sodium, potassium. Those are the big ones. But there's magnesium and, you know, calcium, all those things. In these, in the zero, for instance. Am I doing okay here, Harry?
Go for it.
Getting an answer?
Yeah,
question
you
answered?
are, definitely.
He let me practice, which is really bad. There is in here, there's some sodium and some potassium. There is 110 milligrams of potassium in this one. Probably there's about the same in here, 110. In this one, there is 700 milligrams. There's some zinc in here. We got like that. I don't know, zinc. We got the same thing. Our body, we operate in about a 1% salt solution. That's what our body is. Our ocean is a 3%. Water out of the top is about 0%. We need 1%. When we sweat, our sodium in our blood is about here. When we sweat, it's about half percentage. You know, when you get salt on your skin, that's salt. Taste it. You can, you know, taste it and you can put it on your eggs in the morning if it's there. But also in that sweat, potassium is really high. It's higher than it is in the blood. And so you're sweating. You're losing fluids. We got some fluids. You're losing sodium, a little bit of sodium. You're losing potassium. We got potassium. And there's other stuff. We got a little zinc in this one, some magnesium, things like that. So
let's circle back to the core of the question. My man, obviously, he drinks this because he doesn't want the calories. Therefore, he wants to get into burning the fat quicker. Therefore, you know, not putting gas in the tank so that he can burn the fat cells out of the deal.
Yeah. Sure.
He's, you know, so we don't want to add more gas to burn the old gas, let's say.
Yeah, sure. It does take our body time to switch over. And there's, you know, when you begin to research this, be very, very careful. You can get way out into the, you know, CDC, National Institute of Health. You'd be lost out there in that. Okay, come on back. You know, there's a lot of research, but I think practically, We're talking, yes, obesity and overweight is a terrible problem in the United States. Probably the biggest health, related concern in this country, in the United States of America. We're overnutritioned. But if you're out there exercising, you're doing it. I don't care what you weigh, exercise if you can. Exercise. Whatever. So, but, and you will do that. But it takes a while. And the reason I talked about all that research, there is good research that, let's say you're a runner, a marathon runner, or just a runner, you're running along a certain thing. They will time your body, how much oxygen, how much sugar, how much everything. When do you begin to lose protein? When do you begin to lose fats? And of course, it's not static. It changes if there's glucose readily available. In marathons, right? There's those stations, that's water, but they're also getting calories. You cannot run a full marathon. Yeah, I don't think. Maybe the really the elite people. I don't know. Don't know elite people. But most, run-of-the-mill people, we're running, I don't know. Me, I've never run a marathon. Let's say you're running 3 hours or 2:45. That's, I think, still pretty fast. But you have to have calories during that. You cannot do that whole thing, I don't think, without it. If that's a lie, please tell Harry and he'll slap me. But you need those calories. So that's long, that's long hauling. We're bringing it down to, daily on the tennis court. Harry and I are playing. I want to beat Harry. Who's going to win? Did I? Yeah. Who's going to win at the end of the match? Somebody who's got gas in the tank. Harry's been drinking this. He's lost it. He's looking for protein. He's like, give me some protein. Hey, turn that protein into glucose. Give me that. I'm winning. I'm jumping over that net, and Harry's, or do you jump over that? Congratulate me.
No, I won't make it.
You won't make it?
I won't make it.
Anything. But that's the thing. And of course, listen, there are a lot of things go into competition. Will, endurance, practice, whatever. But, you need some gas. Your body needs gas. Don't deprive it of that. Yeah, being overweight is a deal. But I think, that's the rest of life, where you 1 hour, 3 times a week, give yourself a few calories and some sodium, potassium, fluids.
You said I'm looking for protein.
Well, your body is looking for protein in the sense that when you're, I want to burn fat right now. I want to get rid of this. Mm-hmm. Okay. So you're running down on the glucose. Your body's already, you're getting some protein because you've eaten, some fats. That gets converted. The way our body uses these things, it's about biochemistry, it'll drive you nuts. But your body needs that fuel. Your muscles need it. Your muscles need it to breathe. Your muscles need it to run. All those muscles need it. Your brain needs to function. Everything. You need energy all the time. You'll get it from glucose or you'll get it from fat. But fat is storage. That's the long haul. That's when we're starving to death, when we haven't got a mastodon in a couple of weeks. We're living off fat. Now we need glucose. When I'm playing tennis with Harry, I need glucose.
So the glucose that comes in this one is essentially sugars, right? That's where the calories come from. Yeah. And then the rest of the stuff, which is the electrolytes, does one, let's say, accompanied with the other, help in, let's say, usage of these calories?
Tricky question. Glucose, potassium, sodium, the metabolism of all those things are very tightly intertwined, and you get in there. But yes, if I'll answer that question with a firm probably.
Because the salt actually is helping you hold the calories in the liquid, right? Yeah,
the concentration of our blood, the sodium in our blood, is very tightly controlled. I mean, if it goes too high, we get sick. If it gets too low, we get sick. And so that's what you need. But if I'm sweating out salt, right? If I'm just drinking water and I'm sweating out not full blood salt, but half percentage blood salt, right? Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah. I'm going to be, my blood is going to be, my body is going to be depleted of that salt. Sodium chloride is what we're talking. Salt is that term. And so if you replace that, again, there's sodium in all things. You need to replace your electrolytes, sodium, potassium, magnesium.
The other minerals.
Yeah. And they do, yes, they all, the metabolism, all these things is very tightly intertwined and codependent. But, you have to, I mean, you gotta provide your body. Your body will do the work. It knows what it's doing. You gotta give it the fuel. You gotta give it the sodium. You gotta give it the, potassium. We talked about salt. What does that mean?
Right.
Is that table salt and things like that? Sodium chloride, sodium chloride, sodium chloride. Here's sodium chloride in your table salt. Sodium chloride from wherever. A salt lick out in the middle of the field. And we need that to a certain extent. Now, if we have too much, it raises our blood pressure. That we can get into all those things.
Right.
But sodium is essential for life. If you eat a no sodium diet for a little while, eventually you won't hold on to water and you'll pass out. If you eat no sodium in anything for a couple of days, you'll get lightheaded. Because don't do this at home, kids.
Okay, so I know everybody out there has had this feeling before. It's an empty feeling in your stomach, right? It's basically the only way I can explain it is that emptiness in your stomach, that you just feel like your tank is on zero and you got nothing to burn. I know everybody out there's felt this before. What is that feeling?
That is probably a feeling mediated by epinephrine. Your body is saying, my glucose levels, your brain is saying, my glucose levels are going low. I need glucose to survive. Like I say, if your glucose goes too low, you will bonk. So, and so that's your body saying, okay, my glucose is getting low. And so it's a little bit of an epinephrine push. Your epinephrine wants your, okay, we're going to get whatever glucose that's available in our stores there. We're going to get that available. We're going to get our blood pressure up. We're going to get our pulse up. We're going to go find some glucose. That's what that feeling is.
That's the empty
Now,
feeling.
Again, as you go through your day, if you don't have anything to eat, you'll do fine. Your body will switch over. But you're doing a little slower. If you're utilizing those calories at a much higher rate, like exercise, you'll get there that time.
Rate. Yeah.
Exactly. That time is telescoped. Again, it's all dependent on the rate in which you're utilizing these things.
Got it. I mean, I'm just talking about on a daily basis too, not exercising even.
Right. Do you guys have that friend who, when they get hungry, they get a little cranky? I have a friend of mine who, I know her tone of voice when she begins to speak to me that way. It's like, I'm not talking to you until you have something to eat. Her sugar is going low. Her body is saying, get the out of my way because I need some sugar. That's what that is.
I know people exactly like that.
Yeah.
I was like, let's get some food.
Yeah.
Let's get a cookie.
Yeah. And it's all available. Like all those commercials, like, what's that bar? There's a
Kit Kat?
Snickers bar, whatever you like. M&Ms are good too.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's, guys. So,
Girl Scout cookies.
Yeah. They're giving you a lot less cookies and charging you a lot more now.
Are you dissing the Girl Scouts? Man, you cannot do that.
They're making a profit now, man. The profitability must be high on those things. Okay.
Oh man.
Anyway,
you ain't proprietary.
Hey, bring Girl Scouts, bring the cookies over here. You can sell them at my door.
All right.
Okay.
Excellent.
So let me talk about. I've always wanted to ask somebody this question before, and since I have the doc here. I tell people that I run better on an empty stomach. But let me preface this a little bit though.
Great question.
Throughout the day, because I lead such a busy life, I mean, this cup of coffee will pretty much last me the whole day. I may have another in the afternoon, but that's my only calorie intake. When I get home and I get to relax for a bit, that's when I absorb 1,000 to 2,000, sometimes 3,000 calories, depending on how I feel. I do a little bit, of TV watching and more relaxing, and then I go to bed. So I have 1,000 to 3,000 calories that come around. I sleep on that. Therefore, that's why I'm thinking that I don't crave breakfast, right? If I eat breakfast, it slows the rest of my day down. Like my brain will shut down 2 hours later. My stomach schedule will change. Therefore, I have to, that's how my body tells me. Like really early in my life, when I ate breakfast, it's like, I don't like this. Mm-hmm. It doesn't work for you.
Yeah.
So therefore I just all together. I don't really need to take on food until 3 p.m. at the earliest. But that's probably because I've taken it on the night before. When I exercise, If I ate anything in the morning or even have a cup of yogurt, it doesn't agree with me. It sits there. That's what I feel.
Mm-hmm.
And I know some people who'll literally eat like a couple bagels and down a couple of these, and then they immediately go out to the court and play. And I'm like, that would be a rock in my stomach.
Yeah. The easiest answer to that is everybody's different. We all, we have our patterns. Our body has adapted. Human beings, when we, all this developed, I don't know if you believe in Darwinism, whatever. Somehow we developed. But food was not constantly available. The invention of like storage and refrigeration and all that stuff. I mean, that's civilization, right? So our bodies are used to doing that. They are designed to store, to save fat. In times of plenty, we store fat so that in times of need, we have it. In American society, most of us, there are no times of need, or things are so, anyway, wait, I'm going to spin out of control here, Harry, stop. Whatever your pattern is, people say breakfast is the most important meal of the day. When we eat, it's not a zero-sum game. Blood goes from our muscles in our brain to our gut to do that. Anybody ever, like eaten and then all of a sudden had to run or drink and you puke, right? That's your body saying, I don't want to waste blood flow to the gut. Get this out of here. I can't do this. I need it for my muscles. That's what that is. And so that's what your body is saying. How somehow you got to that point where it's like, no, I got enough storage here. It's working efficiently. And I need a little caffeine. You don't need the caffeine. You can live without it. But whatever, however you're doing it, there's nothing wrong with caffeine. Your body has adapted to that. Those people who need it, their metabolisms, maybe they store less sugar. This friend of mine is a really skinny gal, does she just burn through all her stores really quick? Mm-hmm. Anyway, all that stuff can be measured. We'll send you to some lab. You can spend thousands and thousands of dollars, get this done. And it won't matter anyway. Just eat, how your body says. There'll be all kinds of disagreements about what the right pattern is, what we should do. One of the ways actually to lose weight is, just as an aside, graze throughout the day, little bit, first thing in the morning, mid-morning, lunch, early afternoon, late afternoon, dinner, are you supposed to eat just before going to bed? No, we get into all kinds of things and everybody is different. It has to be addressed on a kind of an individual basis, but you are who you are. I guess it translates into how you're doing at work, how are you performing, all that stuff. Will it in any way lead to less, will you die at a younger age? Will you be sicker earlier? Heaven knows. Heaven only knows. Everybody, all these things. Well, you do this, you live longer. You do that, you live longer.
Right. So what is it? 7 meals a day? 5 to 7 meals a day?
Yeah.
Little
small
meals?
Ones, yeah.
Yeah.
Little yogurt, some fruit. Remember, get your fruits and vegetables. Very, very important fruits and vegetables. Incredibly important. Whatever. You want to be a vegan, you want to be a whatever. Oh, we were talking a little bit about ketones, about ketosis. There's those keto diets. When we're exercising, we get ketotic because that's what'll happen when our body's switching over from utilizing sugar, glucose, to fats as we make ketones. Most of us, when we get like that, we don't feel good. A lot of people can't tolerate the ketone diet because it makes them nauseated, and puts them, just a little bit of those ketones kind of gum up the works, So one of the things is when you're kind of feeling lousy, if you aren't eating or you've been throwing up a lot, try to, in between barfing, get some sugar in there because your body needs that to switch off of trying to use fats back to sugar. And those ketones that you're producing when you're using fats make you a little sick. There are the ketone diets, keto, and anyway, but.
I'm not familiar with the keto diet. Is it like Atkins diet? Like the protein and the vegetables fats, and the waters?
Yeah, I think no 0 to very low carbs.
Right.
Fluid, other stuff as well. But yeah, you try to make yourself ketotic. We make ketones. Our body makes ketones when we utilize fat.
Got it. I've actually tried the Atkins diet back in the day, and it actually works. Can
I make a broad statement?
Yeah.
Any diet works if you follow it. If you follow the rules, almost any diet. It's very strictly follow the rules. Everybody has different. But if you really strictly, and you're honest with what you eat, and you're honest with your weight, and you're honest with your portion size.
Oh. See? Follow the diet. If your
diet
diet isn't working, you're not following it.
Hey, listen, I mean, people will argue with me, but people underestimate how many calories they take in. How did we get here, Harry? From you drinking Gatorade, right? Because I've beaten you so many times. It's because you're running out of gas at the end of our matches, Harry. That is a bald-faced lie. I've never played, Harry. I probably would get my butt kicked, but that's because I'm drinking the Gatorade with sugar, and I got more in the tank at the end of our matches.
Right. So
in Dallas, in San Francisco,
anywhere,
or in Dubai. Remember when we played in Dubai that time?
Oh my God.
That was
on
nice.
that roof.
Oh,
man, it
was that fun?
so hot there.
And you ran out that day. Remember? You ran out. It was hot.
Yeah, I threw up over the roof.
Yeah, and it was kind of cool. It wasn't too humid, right? It was kind of
it was kind of a dry heat out there, you know. But thank you for circling back and getting me back on track here. So let's sum it up here. We need the calories to burn. Now, so when you're playing in that type of weather, right? I would say put the 0 down and go for the calories. You're probably going to burn, like what Dr. Steve says. This is 190 in this whole bottle, and this is 28. Man, this thing shrank. It used to be 32. Anyways.
Like the Girl Scout cookies.
I want to say 32 is 28.
Wait, Gatorade, Girl Scout cookies, what's that? This is a G-anon? No, that's something else. Sorry. Excuse me.
That's all right. Yeah. I was like, man, okay. Used to be 32 ounces. They shortened me 4 ounces now. Anyways, so, damn, where was I? Okay, 190 calories. You will burn 3 of these just by playing tennis easily. So drink this.
Yeah. And again, we're talking about fluids as well, because you really need to replace fluids, and there's nothing magical about this stuff, but you want some balance. I mean, and again, these high performing stars, they have physiologists who work with them, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, they're, anyway.
They have nutritionists for sure.
Yeah. So listen, I'm saving you thousands and thousands of dollars. Drink the
good stuff.
Get a little potassium, get a little sodium, get a little sugar.
All right.
And keep working out, because that's what gets you going, keeps you strong, keeps you healthy.
Exactly. All right. Well, Dr. Steve, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you so much for asking me, Harry. It's such a pleasure.
Guys, thank you for watching Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis.